Well, we had an awesome time going back in time. Well, welcome to Finding America. It is really nice to see you here. Now, this week's episode, I have two separate hunts to share with you. And last week, Chris and I were able to get together for a few hours of metal detecting. And we decided to go back to an old permission that we had that was once the site of an early colonial home. Now, I was initially drawn to this permission and sought the permission because there was a little one-room schoolhouse built around the turn of the century, supposedly on the property. Now, while we were there, the property owner told us, hey, deep in the woods, there's an old stone-lined well. You might want to check that out as well. Well, we did do that, and we ended up finding some really nice flat buttons and some very cool relics around that early home site. Well, recently I ran into that property owner while I was in town, and we struck up a conversation, and he told me he'd been busy at work thinning out and bush hogging those woods. Now, that got my attention because now there was a lot of ground that was available to us that was previously inaccessible. Matter of fact, he must have been reading my mind too, because he said, hey, why don't you guys come back out and see what you can find? So we definitely did that, and we headed back out there, and we did find some things, including a very cool hidden cache at the end. Well, there's Chris, and we're at another little colonial spot that we've had, and the owner told me that they had bush hogged it, and boy did they. It is so much more clear now, and progress has definitely happened since last time, because now there's a huge RV park next door. So, but I'm in the area where the original stone-lined well used to be, and got a big iron signal about 6 inches down, and I got what appears to be a little cooking skillet, a cast iron one. Definitely fits the time period for this place. So neat piece, and we'll see what else is here. I think we're both using the Gold 1 program and the 6-inch coils. Chris just walked up, showed me a little something he found.
Trying to get it in the light.
Yeah.
It's an old medicine bottle.
Yeah, for a syringe.
Some good stuff left in there. It says Type 3 USP.
Yeah. Was that grade A groundwater?
Oh yeah. Maybe.
Very
yeah,
cool.
Looks like there's a pretty good hole in there. That's neat.
Yep, definitely. Well, I was getting a real strong 13 signal here, and I dug it up. I wasn't sure what it was, and then Chris came up, and I think he's right. I think this is actually an old straight razor for shaving.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he said, I've never dug one of those. I said, me either. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So, very cool little relic, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Not bad. Well, Chris, he got a high toning coin over here.
Super high toning.
But it turned out to be a weedy. And I had that happen to me in the last video.
Yeah.
He said it was jumping to the 30s.
44.
44?
Yeah.
There you go. A little shout out to the Hoover boys. So, very cool. Well, Chris isn't too far from where he got the Wheaties, and said he had a gear.
That's kind of interesting.
Oh,
gear.
that's awesome. Yeah.
We got the step thing on there.
That's cool. That definitely could be a clock gear. That's a big one, huh?
Yeah.
Very cool. I like that. These are great display pieces. Well, just finding a bunch of cast iron right now, but
Tough.
It's real tough. And there are so many roots, because there were probably 100 times more trees in here than there used to be, or than there are now. But anyway, we're kind of exploring, and I was going along. I called Chris over because I got a 23, and I dug down. First thing I saw come out of the hole, I think I got a marble. Look at that.
It looks like one.
Oh, it's beautiful too.
Oh yeah.
White with a blue streak. Oh heck yeah.
Cool.
Well, that'll work. But of course that wasn't what was giving me the target, but right behind the marble was this. And I told him, I said, I think I got a bracelet. And
It's bigger than I thought it was.
Man, I'll tell you what. Oh, I think it.
You got something on it?
Yeah, I think so. I'm hoping it's like a souvenir bracelet. I was joking with him. I said, oh, it's going to be World's Fair. But honestly, I don't know. Let me get the water in the brush, and we'll come right back. Well, I'm going to spray it off, and believe it or not, we still have a high tone in the hole. Maybe it's a cache of adolescent stolen loot. But I wanted to get this brushed off just to see. Not seeing anything.
Nothing coming through.
But it's pretty cool. I'm definitely happy with that. Put it over here by the marble. And get my gloves back on. There seems to be a high tone. What was it? Did you see the number it was in?
20. It was bumping up to 27.
Wow.
It was in the 20s though.
I want to turn that on.
Oop. Not very deep, huh?
No, I think it came out with this other stuff. Ooh.
Ooh, what is that? Oh, it's a reflector, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Holy cow, this is like some kid's buried treasure stash. How cool is that? You know I like digging those old reflectors.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's going to be like white or yellow.
Yeah.
It's very muddy down here. Had a lot of rain, but look at that.
Awesome.
That's crazy. So we have a kid's bracelet, a reflector, and his favorite marble. How cool is that? Now if we could just find that buffalo nickel they gave him for candy.
Yeah.
Well, we have another mystery solved this week thanks to all of you watching a few weeks ago. Now you may recall the strange domed cap that I found during the episode called All Sorts of Treasure. Well, luckily, Robert Sorgman and Alanda Cotton Metal Detecting were watching that episode, and they were the very first to let me know that that cap was once part to a vintage transformer fuse that had blown. Well, a huge thank you goes out to all of you out there that kept me from blowing my fuse trying to figure out what the heck that thing was, and for making that mystery find a mystery solved. So this past weekend found us with conflicting schedules. So I headed out on my own on Saturday, and I decided to go to one of my favorite spots, the Dig It All field. And I was going to pick an area and just really buckle down on it with the 6-inch coil and my Minelab Equinox 800. I'll tell you what, I ended up finding so many cool pieces of American history that day. And as I dug find after find, I kept finding myself saying, those were definitely the good old days. Well, this one's giving me a 1920. I think it's some kind of old cap, and I think it has something on it, but I'm gonna have to wait until I get home, clean it up and see, but it looks like it might be interesting. Well, this one was giving me a 2728, and it looks like I have a part that was associated with the old 30s, 40s Pontiac dealership that used to be here. And it looks like a mirror bracket or something like that. Definitely old, and definitely probably 20s or 30s era too. So, neat old piece. Well, this signal was a really iffy high tone, but I went after it and pulled it out. Now, honestly, this is another thing, trash, but I know it's a car part, but if you look on the back here, you can see the part number, BJ, I think it's 88183-A, and that is a Ford Lincoln Mercury type part number. So maybe I'll be able to figure out what this went to and where it went on the car and what year and all that good stuff. So it's just stuff I like to do when I get home and do a little research. Well, I have to tell you, this is one of the main reasons I love digging in the Dig It Off field. And it's because it had a lot of old service stations and the old Pontiac dealership. And I've always been into car parts since I was in college. I've dealt in classic car parts. And so when I see something like this, it's giving me a 30, it's like a whamming signal. And it's right in the middle of where the old road used to be. And I saw this and I'm like, what in the world is that? And then I turned it over and check it out. Look at that, there's an odometer. Some kind of a gauge cluster. You can see some gears in here, right in there. But you got the odometer here. I'll know just how many miles this old car or truck had. But that's just a neat piece, and I'm looking forward to getting that cleaned up, see what it turns out. It's just cool looking. So I dug that speedometer or gauge cluster or whatever it was right there and got a 17 signal right here, and I felt something and I started to pull it out and I'm like, oh, I'll be darned. So I stopped pulling it out so we could see it together. But check this out. That's an old spoon, but it looks mighty clean. Now it's not silver, but it looks like silver plate and it's held up well. Oh, check that out. That's pretty cool. Very nice. Wow, that's got an awesome design on it. Huh. That is too cool. Hopefully I get a back mark off. Yep. Looks like 1847 Rogers Brothers. So I should be able to date this pattern. And let's see, if I had to guess, 1910, 1930, somewhere in there. Might even be a little older. Well, this one was giving me a decent little high tone, 23, and I popped the digger and I saw it right away and I was like, oh man, that is so sweet. I can't believe it. I just found one a little while ago when I was out with Chris, but this time I got a green one. Check it out. I haven't even moved it yet. Old bicycle reflector. I love these things. I don't know what it is about them. Oh man, this thing's in beautiful condition. Look at that. That is almost perfect. Very cool. That one's probably going to be, I don't know, they're kind of hard to date. They used them for a long time, but anyway, I think this one's going to be 40s to 60s. But man, that thing's like in perfect condition. So cool. I don't know, I just love digging these. Well, still working this area where there was an old service road that ran through this field, and I got something pretty cool. It was giving me a 23-24. It's pretty far down, about 8-9 inches. I finally popped it loose. Look at that. Killer old cap gun. Looks like they had to do a little repair, but a little duct tape. But isn't that cool? That's pretty cool because I don't usually find this style. Usually we find the cowboys and Indians guns, but this is more like the Dick Tracy toy gun. So very cool. That is awesome, and definitely wasn't expecting that out here. I just keep working the area around this tree next to this old, where the old road was, and I must have hit a little hot spot right here. It's pretty awesome. It's getting a 30, about 7 inches down. I finally popped it out. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be automotive related, I'm guessing. I don't know. It seems to be what comes out of here a lot, so I thought I'd get the camera and we'll check it out. Well, some kind of... okay, yep, definitely auto related, and it's going to be an old Chrysler, and this, yeah, you can see the split right there. This was actually the trunk lid ornament, and you would have slid it, like turned it this way, and it would have exposed the trunk lock, and you put your key in and unlock it, then it would have covered the trunk lock again. Yeah, that's exactly what that is, and it's going to be probably 80s. Probably 80s Chrysler products. K-Car, LeBaron, one of those. Even Fifth Avenue maybe, I don't know. I'll check it out when I get home, but hey, that's pretty awesome. Well, this one was bouncing from an 18 to a 20, and I thought, what the heck, let's see what it is. And this is what it turned out to be. It may not look like much, but it's actually a cool piece. This is an ornament that went on top of a front fender for a 50s, 60s car. It would have been like a spear ornament, and this would have come up like a fin. And yep, it was chrome-plated pop metal. Well, I tell you, I am finding a lot down here by the service road, and now all it is a slight depression in this field, but it used to be the road behind the businesses, and I think the businesses and the repair shops and automotive stores, they would just take their garbage and put it up alongside the service road for it to be picked up, and I think I'm finding a lot of stuff that just never got picked up. And but it's awesome because it's nothing but old stuff, and I just got a 13 right here, and I popped the plug. Now I've seen this one, but this is what it looked like. A lot of rusted mess. You'd be like, and I had the same reaction. I'm like, eek. But I turned it over, and check it out. It's actually an old door lock, and it's got the handle here, and it's a pretty fancy handle, so I'm kind of looking forward to getting home and cleaning it up to see what it looks like. But that is very cool. Well, I was getting a nice 28, 29 high tone, and I just thought I'd show it to you because it's kind of cool. 2 bottle caps out of 1 hole, but we have a vintage Clorox, America's favorite bottle cap, probably 40s, 50s. And then another bottle cap. Don't know what it was, but I do know that it only cost 15 cents. So you know that's old, no doubt about that. Well, I'm definitely in the thick of it. I mean, there's just signal after signal. It's just one big pile of stuff. And I'm just having to dig a hole, dig a piece out, and clean it out. This one looks interesting. I have no idea. I have not pulled it out yet, but there it is. Kind of get an idea. Oh, some kind of a molding. Okay, I think, yes I do. It took a while to get it loose. Oh, check it out. Now that's really cool because that was most likely on the dash, and there would have been individual gauges inside these openings. Well, I'll tell you what, you clean that up and you could put it on a project car. It's actually in pretty darn good condition. So, very cool piece. Well, this one was a 17. I dug down, got this big piece of glass, and then I saw this. I'm like, what the heck is that? And it appears to be a very old lighter. I have really not seen one like this before. That is way cool. And you can see where they filled it down here. There might be a maker's mark. It looks like there is. Might be a German lighter. Let's see. Yep, I can't make it out right now, but that's pretty darn cool. Well, this one was giving me an 18 or so. Dug down and check it out. Another very cool old car part. This is actually a lamp housing. This would have gone most likely on a bumper or somewhere up near the grill, but there would have been a small light and lens right here, and the bulb would have gone up through there. But that is awesome. That is very cool. And this is going to be another 30s to 40s automobile piece. It's a lot of fun digging out here. Well, I'm still working the edge of this service road, and it is just loaded with signals. And I dug down. This was a 2829. I'm gonna tell you, I got a peek of it, and I let out a war whoop. I think that'd be fitting for what I just found. Oh man, I'm so happy with this one. But I'm gonna show it to you in the hole, just the way I saw it. And I started to pull it out, and I was like, oh my gosh. But I also found a bunch of china, some bottles. But enough of that. Let me pull this out. I can't take it anymore. So I noticed it was pretty big, and I'm like, oh man, this is like some kind of an ornament. And so I started pulling it, and look at this. Holy cow. That is an awesome Pontiac hood ornament. Look at that. Oh man, that is so awesome. Pop metal, very heavy. It was originally chrome plated, but you can see the Indian chief. Oh man, I'm so excited with this one. What a great piece. This one's probably going to be 30s. And sorry about the noise. Got a dump truck going by. But how cool is that? I mean, that is just, honestly, that makes my day. That just, what a way to cap it off. That is just killer. Well, I'll tell you, every time I'm out with my metal detector, I feel like I'm out with my very own personal time machine. Now, there is no doubt in my mind that metal detecting is absolutely the best hobby in the world. Now, I really hope you enjoyed seeing this one, and here's a look at all the cool things from those good old days that we were able to save in this episode. Well, let's step into spring with a bit of color. I have some very cool things coming up just for you in a few seconds. And remember, it's history that makes a find a treasure, and I can't wait to see you back here next week on Finding America.